Hey everybody, I'm Crow. Welcome back to Dark Souls 2. It's been a while. But, things I wanted to cram into this episode, basically, is completing this quest here, because I believe the Sunset Staff is the last of the 4 pieces that we need to do that quest for the, murderer guy. We need to do the Belfry Gargoyles still, and Vendrick. And if we have time still, assuming we can even get those in, then we'll get the, DLC keys. Though I believe... it's a key. We already have the Frozen Flower, because that's just on the way, like, through Dranglake Castle. You pick it up in that room, after the bonfire in there, where you have to fight the Rune Sentinels. It's on the way up out of that place, so if you made it this far into the game, you have to have walked past it. So I assume this is the one that pretty much everybody gets. Either way... oh, that's right, I should show everyone. The grinding that I did. First of all, my bumper doesn't work too terribly well, so I switched the lightning arrows to the trigger, because what I use is basically like a Xbox 360 controller, I think. So the trigger doesn't have any problems, and lightning arrows can be fired since we don't need to fire as many poison arrows. We are level 250. We have a 40 in everything except for vitality and attunement. I'm not going to put any points into attunement because that doesn't help us. I don't really plan on switching this out. I figured since we're going to have these levels anyway, I might as well just use the base Hunter's Blackbow, so while I reserve the right to maybe change my mind later if things get terrible, I think I'm going to try and do this as a no infusion run. So, we got this intelligence and this faith. We only needed 20 in each for this quest. But by having this, it boosts the magic defense, and it just boosts all of our magical defenses. So if you look, we actually have 180 and stuff in these, which I believe you just take it 1 point over, so that's like 18.2% reduction or something. It's hard to get it high, but if you have good armor on, and like a flame-enchanted shield or whatever, and a bunch of other stuff, it adds up pretty quick. I already lost 2 minutes.
The dark stirs. I see the darkest spark within you. My name is Falcon. I will track with you. What do you need?
He's nice enough. I think it's kind of funny that he's like, the dark stirs in you. It's like, I'm part of the Pilgrims of the Dark. You don't even want to know the kind of dark that I've seen.
These are for you.
I believe you only need an 8 in intelligence and faith or something. It might be a 10 in order to talk to him and actually buy his stuff. But if you have a 20, then he gives you the Hexer set, which is cool, and the Sunset Staff, which we need for the quest. Together into the Dark. That thing canceled on its own. I only hit A once, so I didn't know that could actually fade. But if you come over here to buy items, the Ring of Life Protection is cool. It's one of the only 2 now. I don't remember where the Ring of Soul Protection was. But there used to be like 5 rings of life protection and 3 rings of soul protection. They made it much, much more expensive to fix these, and now there's only 1 of each. Because in regular Dark Souls 2, the game basically had no consequences for death. These are really powerful. They cost souls to use, but
Come again.
Man, are they great.
Dark is...
So, what I need to check to see is we have Kale's helmet, the map guy. We have the ladder miniature, which we do. We have the feather from the Firekeeper, and we have the Sunset Staff that we just got. So I do believe that is all 4 that they wanted. I needed to die once in order to talk to him again, because he'll only talk to you when you're hollow. But apparently dying to petrification removes many deaths worth of stuff off of you. I never actually noticed that because I don't get petrified, but I had those dogs outside, or whatever they are, kill me. One thing I should go over though, in case anybody hasn't noticed, the Hexer's Hood increases number of casts for each spell you have. So the Hexer's Hood is actually very good to wear, even if you're wearing heavier armor. If you have casts of basically any kind of spell, I think this applies to everything.
Fine work. This is my thanks. Take it.
Dispelling Ring.
Now let's discuss our next mark.
Which I do believe was the Resist Everything ring? Yep. Increases magic, lightning, fire, and dark defense. Not nearly as much as the other rings, but they can be worn with them as well. And in the DLC, we will find better quartz rings, because I believe there's +3 rings for each of these. I don't know if all of them have a +3. I'm pretty sure there's at least like a fire one and a sorcery one. I don't know if there's a dark one or a lightning one. Either way, there's also better dispelling rings that we can get. But when you put these together, it makes the magical defenses go through the roof.
I want you to kill one more. Your target will be Kale, the man who's drafting that map. While I was trapped in here, he touched me, that maniac, like I was some rare specimen. He wore a strange helm. Bring it back as proof.
Sure.
Yes, I knew I could count on you. Perhaps this will slake my thirst.
Kale is the only one of these people that we actually killed, because I don't remember what you have to do to get him to give you the hat. It might have been really easy, but when I talked to him, he didn't give it to me, so I was like, okay, you have to die.
Fine work. This is my thanks. Take it.
Simpleton Spice. Pretty crappy reward.
Let's discuss our next mark. I want you to kill one more. Your target is Felkin the Hexer. As proof, bring me that peculiar scepter of his. What do you say? Yes, very good. But he will be formidable. Be cautious.
The first one was Gilligan's Ladder. I forgot about that. We already gave it to him, right? Oh no, we keep them. That's right, we just show it to him. Either way, I'm pretty sure the first one was Gilligan, the second one's Kale, the third one's Falcon, and the fourth one is our Firekeeper.
Fine work. This is my thanks. Take it.
Forbidden Sun is a pretty powerful pyromancy if I remember right, but it only has like one use.
Now let's discuss something of importance. You could kill a dozen like that and it wouldn't matter. I want you to kill someone of import. I want you to kill the girl in Majula, known as the Muse. They say that she is the last Firekeeper, but they say a lot of things. That she's a gentle shepherd, lighting the way for you cursed fools. Nonsense. Once she is dead, I will have no regrets, and I will be content to remain here. The girl will have a peculiar feather. Bring it to me. Now go along.
Naturally, you can get all of these items from them without actually killing any of them. Kale was just for convenience. You buy the ladder from Gilligan for 7,999 souls, you have 20 intelligence and 20 faith to get the one from Falcon, you make it to the Dragonary to get the feather from the Muse, and you do something... you do something about lighting all of the flames on that map or something to get Kale's. But I don't know, honestly. We went back really late, and he's still... I mean, I'm pretty sure we already had the feather and everything before we went back there to go and get the hat, and he still didn't give it to me.
Yes, that's the feather. Good. Oh, that is very good. Your reward. Take it.
Unleash magic.
What do you require? You've been good to me. Go on. Tell me what you need. These are for you.
The Chaos set.
Don't mind the specks of blood.
It actually looks pretty neat if I remember right. I don't know about the hat, but... Thunder Quartz Ring +2. I knew that he had the different arrows of the great variety. An infinite number of great magic weapons and strong magic shields. Some bonfire aesthetics and stuff, which is cool. And then these things. And if you'll notice... Does it actually show? It doesn't say anything, I don't think, but these actually do things. I think the moon hat actually increases your intelligence by 2 when you wear it or something. And then there's the Black Witch's stuff, and the hat of each of these sets does something. I don't remember what it was. But this is one of the sets that I tend to wear when I play through, just cause.
Find one.
Because it looks like... Let me see. Astrologist stuff, astrologist robes. The moon hat. If we look, I have 42 intelligence now instead of 40. Probably still going to wear the Jester's gloves, but... Got interrupted. Rather than making another cut, I figured I'd just come here first. I know that the set doesn't look particularly amazing. I mean, I kind of like it, honestly. But, I felt kind of accomplished the first time that I actually got through that whole quest, because I didn't know to grab all of the items beforehand, and I don't think I looked anything up for that. So whenever I got in there and I got this, I'm like, you have to go decently far out of your way to get this. Which you don't actually have to do if you know what you're doing. So whenever I bought this, I was like, these clothes, they're like not clothes that everybody uses. And I think that's kind of cool. And I kind of like the moon look and stuff. So I was like, yeah, whatever. And I use this on most every sorcery run. Actually, basically all of them, actually. Because I don't actually care about the stats on them or whatever armor we get, which is actually a decent bit from wearing this. But, actually, yeah, how much... Do we actually get magic resistant stuff? Wow, we actually get a decent bit of magic resistant stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's not amazing. I don't really plan on upgrading it or anything, I don't think. Hi, Bell Guy. Please don't get invaded. We're a really high soul level, so if someone invades us... they're gonna be, like, world-shatteringly powerful. The way the soul memory in this game works is you can... play with people who are within 4 brackets of you or 2 brackets of you, depending. Trying to knock me off the ladder. And the brackets get bigger and bigger. Once you have... The last bracket is 15 million and above. So once you get to like 9 million soul level or something, soul memory, it is to the point where anyone could join your game. So someone with 99s in every stat could play with someone who has 40s in most. And while there is a diminishing return after 40, you guys and your curve and arrows, down. That open, don't care. Belfry Gargoyles. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to get Vendrick this time. I'm still wearing the cat ring. That's pretty worthless. Could I please lock on? I do believe there are actually 6 of these, which sucks. I wanted to wait until later to fight these, and I kind of feel like it's later. The Belfry... I mean, we beat Dark Lurker. Since you only fight 2 at a time, and we are ranged, it's not as bad. But I knew that if we didn't have a stronger bow or magic arrows, they were going to take next to no damage, and the gargoyles were going to build up. And if I have to fight more than 2 of these, especially back then when we didn't have nearly as much health, it was going to suck. Or at least I thought it was. I always remember having such a problem with these guys, on normal runs anyway, that I tend to just not fight them. This really ain't too bad. I don't know. Oh yeah, they hit us for nothing too. Okay, this wasn't a big deal then. I'm glad we got it in regardless, just so that we can say that we were going for every boss. Yeah. Next time will be Vendrick for sure. Because that's the last boss outside of the final boss area that we still have on the normal game. And I decided that we're going to do all the DLCs before the final bosses. Because while that is not the order I do it in, I usually beat the game and then do the DLCs, because when I played through the game, I beat the game, and then the DLCs came out and I did them in order. I'm pretty sure on the same character, though I've done it on a few now. And I don't know, it just feels right. The DLCs are a lot harder. A lot harder than the base game. So I usually do things in order of progression, but for a sense of finality and everything, we're gonna do things out of order, just so that the final boss is actually the final boss. I never looked over there before. Ah, all the dogs, and you can't aim down here. We should one-shot the dogs, which will be less of a problem. Let's just get a little closer and then jump. Nope. Yep. They added a summon here as if the dogs weren't bad enough. However, with a bow that one-shots them, it's not the end of the world. Once we get the dogs down, shouldn't really be bad. And now it shouldn't really be bad. We came back here really late game with a fully upgraded bow and pretty much max stats. So we were much better to handle that. I know I would have died if we came back here with what we had before. Intended falchion. Human effigy. Dragon tooth, petrified something, and a bright bug. I didn't know there was a bright bug here. I'm glad we came down. We might be using those to fight Navlaan, just because they are awful. And they were designed to be fought by 2 people. I think the one time I beat them with my bow only run, I might have... I've never summoned on that fight for any build, but I think I might have only been able to beat them with the bright bug. It's been more than a year and I don't really remember. But, next time we're going to do Vendrick, and we'll get the keys, and maybe start the Poison DLC, because I want to do them in order. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you liked it. Later, everybody.